Thanks for joining us on Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. Stu Rich and Mike Wood here to delve deep into 5 key races at Rosehill Gardens this weekend, where we're going to be fine-tuning all the form this weekend and going through all the key race factors as we run our own little mini race to see who comes out on top. So keep your eyes on the top right corners of the screen throughout the show. And of course, all the tips later on, putting this man under pressure, Mike Wood, to deliver. My favourite section, the $100 hot seat. We want some profits there, Mike. But after the races last week, how good is it? Back at the Spring Carnival, I'm pumped.
Yeah, loved it last Saturday. Good to be on a Thursday night as always, mate. Great to be at the track last Saturday. Importantly, the Hot Seat 100 did well last week.
We did.
Some more money in the bank, which is really important for our followers out there. But almost more importantly, we dodged a bullet by not betting on the Wink
Good
Stakes.
point.
Well done to Connections to win a Samad out. But I'm glad we stayed out of that one, Stu.
You did. You picked it early. You said, I don't want to have anything to do with this Group
Not
1.
a punter's race, no.
No, it wasn't, but good, yes, the Connections, good luck to all them. The Group 1 coming their way. And, of course, Mike, so much rain around this week. This is where you absolutely love it. On a Tuesday night, you sit there watching the clouds, because that's what the Race Guide's all about, really trying to profile these horses, and this weekend really trying to find those mutters that can just skip through the ground.
Absolutely. Why do punters out there, or some punters, not like wet tracks? If the bookies have a hard time setting a market, that's when we can strike the right stage of preparation, the right track conditions. That's what the key factors are all about. And we'll find some horses for you tonight. Yeah,
that's definitely what we're here to do. And obviously these track conditions, Mike, it has been raining on Thursday, more rain into Friday. So we are looking at a slow to heavy track, but take us through the conditions this weekend.
We only just made it here tonight, didn't we? It's pouring outside, it's windy, it's very, very cold in Sydney on a Thursday night. The rail's out 4 metres on Saturday. The last meeting was August the 10th. It was pretty fair and a good track, but we should get soft to heavy conditions on Saturday. And when we get those conditions, they usually edge off the rails later in the day.
All right, so that's the conditions to look at. And importantly, Mike, it doesn't have to be the Group 1 like it was last week. We're going to handpick 5 races to really focus on this week, and a really great card of racing. So how do we come up with these 5?
Another great card of racing, good betting races across the card. Wet track is what we're looking for. We are avoiding the Premier's Cup.
Okay.
That is a waller-a-thon. There are so many waller runners there. There's a couple of good wet trackers like Woogok we might put in the Hot Seat 100, but we're not doing that race tonight. Race 3, a good 1,500 metre race. Adana's race again, what we make of him, up to 2,000 metres. The San Domenico Stakes, some smart 3-year-olds, the Ming Dynasty over 14, and then finishing off with the best benchmark 88 you will ever see, Stu. There's 4 or 5 cracking group types in that race.
All right, so 5 good races to kick-start off. Mike, the first one we saw there is race number 3. So let's have a look at the market now. And Adana, on the back-up from last week, has still got my cash from last week. $4.20 here, Mike. Blocked, held up, tightened. You're going to see so many of these sort of comments for this horse. Can the punters forgive? Thy Kingdom Come, $4.40. Run down late in the same grade last start. Was that the chance, this preparation? No, $4.40. Denawi there, $5.50. Irakanji, this horse, interesting. He's obviously opened the stakes account for Done Deal, winning the Sweep of Essence in 2018. Back for Bjorn Baker here. $11 Map Maker. We know this horse loves Rosehill and Pelothronius. That's a horse we know loves the wet, Mike, but can punters forgive? That's my big question in this race.
Yeah, there's lots of forgives needed if you want to back a win in this race. Let's start with that race, the Kenzo race last start for Thy Kingdom Come. And you said it so well, Stu. Was this the opportunity for this horse to win this preparation? Chocolate in the lead, Thy Kingdom Come outside. They kind of jostled for position mid-race, but there wasn't that much tempo. James Mack knows this horse can usually sustain a run, so he goes for home early, and you think he's home. We were cheering here. Everyone was cheering here. But there was some Pakenham synthetic form that was just too strong.
Yeah, we didn't see that. I was cheering, mate. There was a very big bet on this day, but hey, that's racing.
The time was only fair. A bunched finish. Always be wary of that. Not sure about that form line.
OK, let's have a look at this horse, Adana, Mike. You're going to have to convince a few of the viewers here, so we're going to take you back. This is fresh and, importantly, at Rosehill on rain-affected surface. But look at the horses in this race. To date, it is chasing Vega Days and Lundberg in this replay.
Yeah, when you looked at this replay and looked at his run since then, you sort of thought, what happened? And we think we've got this horse figured out. We think he's a horse that can't accelerate. He doesn't have a turn of foot. So his last 2 firm track runs with slow tempos didn't suit him. He wants a soft track. He wants a reasonable tempo in his races. He got that this day fresh, and he almost chased down a horse that almost beat the Autumn Sun. That's pretty good form lines for Saturday.
OK, so we'll see if there's some excuses there for
Adana. Back on, Stu, that's the question.
You're going to have to convince me. Let's have a look now at all the form and the ratings for the Everest Carnival Handicap as we kickstart our race. Keep your eye on the top right-hand side of the screen as we get our mini race started. Who is lighting up the form?
It was a bunch finish in that Kenzo replay, and it's a bunched finish just for the form. Light up 4 of them there.
OK, so let's try and split these up, Mike, with key factors. The first one, as always, is progression.
Yeah, Denawi's definitely got upside improving this preparation now. Irakanji second up can improve, but a wet track's a risk. and bull market has to improve. That was a terrible run last start.
All right, look at this race. There are plenty right on the money here, Mike, as we get to the distance.
These are the big factors for Adana. Going from a slow tempo race to a fair to strong tempo race is a massive kicker for a one-paced horse, and shock alert, up to 15 is better for him.
All right, a big kicker for Adana here, Mike. Might these favourite backers be liking to see that? Now, track conditions here, obviously soft or potentially heavy.
Yeah, soft to heavy, perfect Snitzel breed. We saw that replay. Adana will love it as well. Thy Kingdom Come, look, loves the Kenzo, but maybe it was a touch firm. And Kanachi, we know he's a mutter, but he got flogged last start.
All right, look, it is Adana out in front here, Mike. Can the others catch up? Thy Kingdom Come is going to lunge late. He's going to be right there, though, Mike. Position in run. Who gets this?
Nothing there. We'll play it late in the day, maybe off for hours, but early, just treating it as fair.
Okay, right. So here we are, race 3. It's pretty early in the day here, Mike. Adana, you're going to have to convince me. You're going to have to convince the punters. Let's have a look now at all the ratings because we need a bet here in race 3 to get things started. And look, we had it here, Mike. It's pretty much market order, but it's tick, tick, tick there for Adana in the wet. Very good first up. Blocked last week. I mean, seriously, Mike, you've sent it a few weeks over in the UK. I think you might have to go back there for a freshen up if you're saying this is a special.
This is a special. Third up after a spell. This is when time to shine, isn't it? Adana waiting for a race with tempo, waiting for a race on a soft track. This race is full of horses on the strong tempo or they don't like a wet track.
Yep.
He's the one that's suited. He's an each-way moral, and the money's already coming on Thursday, Stu.
Each-way moral, Adana. We've said it. I've missed the odds. Hope you're all on at home. Now, there's a first tip for us. Let's have a look now at race number 4. It is the Nathan's famous handicap, and it is over the 2,000 metres. It's a benchmark 78, and lots of betting action here. The most well-backed horse of the day, Mike, Heart of Grace, and a great story behind it. Japanese-bred, English and French race, Perth-owned and trained, making the Oz debut. Great story around the owner, giving it to Frank Pangello as well, small-time trainer. They've come east to get the cash, $4.60. Costello, no luck last start, really held up. Really well placed here by David Payne, $4.60. Humboldt Current for Waller, up from Melbourne, $7. Ulasaba with good form, going through the winter at $10. But how about this, Mike? Heart of Grace, $34 into $4.60 favourite.
That is, it's been a long spell. The trials were okay, but you have to respect that much money, Stu. It's going to be very, very hard to beat on Saturday. It's got some listed form lines from Europe. We're not going to have a look at that. We're going to look at Waller's import and one of the Queen's ex-horses, Humboldt Current. A pretty strong fast at rock type with staying breed on its dam side. This is second up on a heavy track. Obviously getting fit of this preparation. It runs on really, really well, and you think it was just about going to win. And the form lines are pretty good as well, Stu. Beat Kentucky Breeze, who won last Saturday. You backed it at the Valley, I think. Yep.
That's it. And well, Mike, you're $10. You're thinking here, hang on, I'm just coming through. I've got this. How good's this? But just didn't hit the line. What is this saying to be third up with this sort of run?
I'm letting it off. I don't know. It definitely, that is a float if ever I've seen one. You don't peak. And then he comes again late. I'm forgiving him for that last 30 metres. He can run well on Saturday for sure.
Okay, that's what we're here to do. Have a look at these replays. Let's dissect this one now, Mike. And I'll tell you what, if you're on a few of these unlucky runners, look away now. We're talking about Costello here and, of course, Missy Bill. These did not have any luck this day.
And even Love is Silly at the back in the Chris Lee's colours. Sort of failed 2 starts ago, but gets held up here. Has to come back to the inside. I think it's held up comment in the race guide you'll see. Comes back to the inside. The ones without any orange or red flags in the race guide are Ulasaba and Nahuel. They both had their chance this particular day, so you're looking for the horses that were unlucky. Costello's one of those. Look at that. A lot of people had them as his special of the day, but he comes from a firm track to a wet track on Saturday, which has to be a negative, doesn't it?
Oh, look, you'd probably think so there, Mike, but David Payne, he's always been upbeat about this horse. We're going to see how it goes there on Saturday, on the rain-affected surface, importantly. Let's have a look now and get this race started with all the key factors and the form. Who has got to light up here?
Yeah, Heart of Grace, almost a year ago, was going well listed grade. Costello should have won last start, and Humboldt Current basically won last start without peaking.
All right, so it's all the favourites there with the form. As we get our race started, Mike, progression.
Lots of stays with upside. Costello, Humboldt Current improving into their preparations. to Crew. Look, it's going really well as preparations, isn't it? Mrs. Madrid, second up. She can improve as well.
Okay, so maybe a bit more to see from Heart of Grace. What about this distance?
Looking for horses up to the 2,000 metres. Humboldt's been there once and he won in England. Missy Bill, she should like it too, off a slow tempo last week. And De Crew unbeaten at the distance. Okay,
so it's Humboldt Current sticking the neck out in front there from Costello and De Crew. The soft track, Mike?
Yeah, we're just basically using this page to show that Costello onto a wet track and Ulusaba away from Canterbury are both risks on Saturday.
Okay, which means Humboldt Current goes further ahead here, Mike. That's the one they have to catch, and no one does that with a position run.
Yeah, not playing it early, Stu.
Okay, look, plenty of questions in this race. Of course, we've got the big money market plunge there on Heart of Grace. We've got Costello in the wet. Let's have a look now at all the ratings, and of course, we've had a look at all those key factors for a bet in race number 4 here, Mike. We've mentioned a few of those. Humboldt, I mean, look, ticks all the boxes, Humboldt Current. Melbourne form, as you said, you're going to give that a bit of a tick, and look, you're looking down the page here, Mike. Decrew there, $17 right there. The Good Fight has a bit of upside as well. They're both coming off some nice wins. So, look, plenty of questions here for mine.
Yeah, definitely an open race. Maybe those ones outside the top 5 might struggle to win. They're okay horses, but we like those ones in the top 5. Heart of Grace. You've got to respect that money. My daughter's called Grace. I've got to put 10 or 20 bucks on that for sure. I've missed it. Well, you just can't line it up, can you? Humboldt Current, third up for Waller, handled a heavy track last start. And Decrew, unbeaten the distance. You have to respect how well it won last start, even though it was an easier race.
All right, so Humboldt Current there for us, away from the money horses in race number 4. There's a look at the first 2 races this weekend at Rosehill Gardens, and hang around after the break. We've got 3 more coming your way. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by the raceguide.com.au. The next race we're going to have a look at Rosehill Gardens this weekend is the feature. It's the San Domenico Stakes over the 1100 metres, a Group 3 level for the 3-year-olds. And, well, what a stellar lineup of winners the last few years. Graf, Pariah, Star Turn. Obviously, a lot of those gone to stud, and Graf running in the Everest last year. So let's see if an Everest runner could potentially come out of this, Mike. We've got Bivouac, exploded to win there, winning in the Vane Stakes, and all 3 wins on soft to heavy come by a combined total of 7.25 lengths. So here is one of those mutters, $1.70. Yes, 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 there at $4. Resuming 2 trials, a Todman winner before failing in the slipper. Of course, we've got Exceedance there, $4.80. Another one resuming, zooming late in its trial. Out to Anahid, knocked up fresh, but usually so genuine, this horse. And out to Dubious after that, Mike. But Bivouac, it really got the racing punters talking after that first up win.
Yeah, his trial was okay, but he surprised us. He surprised many with just how well he won this race. He's obviously come back a better animal. He wasn't the biggest animal last preparation, so I can't wait to see him in the yard at Rosehill Gardens on Saturday. It was a tough to find colt last prep. His bikes even excel, so we know he likes the wet. Soft 5 this day. We weren't sure how he'd go, but he absolutely exploded, loomed up, broke right away, ran good time, 103.42. Domino wins, Stu.
Yeah, wouldn't you like it if all $3 favourites won like this every time you back them?
Yeah, especially Godolphin's going well, but yeah, none of them are winning that well. Look at that. They could have won by more, over 1,200.
Yeah, absolutely explosive win there to Bivouac. And, well, look, a few of these met, obviously, in the Todman, Mike, back at Randwick's earlier in the year. So let's go have a look at that. And, of course, it wasn't Bivouac winning that day. It was Yes, 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 coming with that big barnstorming run down the outside, getting the job done this day.
Yeah, ex-Weir Gallery, obviously now with the Waller stable. The thing about this galloper, the Yes, 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 he has an absolutely enormous turn of foot. He was ridden perfectly this day, very quiet, stalking at the back, accelerated down the outside on a good track. If the track's not too sloppy on Saturday and you can accelerate, he could be the one, but he could peak later if it's very testing. All
right, so all eyes on the track there with the heavens opening Thursday, Friday as we have a look ahead to Rosehill Gardens. Mike, let's get this race absolutely started and light up the key factors, of course, starting with the form.
In the order of the market, and he dominated last start. Light up Bivouac.
Okay, light up Bivouac, and I'm noticing there too, Mike, Catch Me, he's the only black horse in the race. That's what we've got here with our profiling. Let's get it started here with Progression.
Catch Me used to be a good horse, didn't she? We'll see how she goes. Yes, yes, yes. Thought the trial was okay. He's definitely got progression, but it wasn't an amazing trial, so just want to see him. Bivouac second up, definitely no progression. If anything, could flatten, go backwards. Exceedance, nice trials, can improve first up.
Okay, so that's an interesting take on the favourite there, but what about this distance?
Yeah, back from 1,200 metres, back to 1,100 metres, a horse with massive, massive acceleration. Light up, yes, yes, yes.
Okay, $1.70, but only out there by a length at the moment, Mike, but we know this horse loves the wet.
Yeah, worst side of soft, Bivouac, that'll be suited. If it gets into heavy, he'll be firming all the time. Yes, 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 back from a heavy track to slightly better. Could suit him.
Okay, would have thought I'd see a little bit there for a $1.70 shot, position in run.
Anahid is the tough filly on pace. She'll have some followers on Saturday after failing first up.
Okay, so it's Bivouac by a length to Yes, Yes, Yes and Exceedance. I know it's only Thursday night, Mike, but it doesn't look like we've found too much there in terms of a $1.70 favourite. Let's have a look now for a bet. Pretty much finishing exactly in market order there. Bivouac, Yes, Yes, Yes and Exceedance. We've been ducking and diving with this form, Mike, and you are pretty much saying here we are watching and waiting for the weather gods and the yard.
First favourite, second favourite, third favourite. You said it, Stu. We've got absolutely no idea on a Thursday night. All three have a chance.
Yeah.
But there's so much to play out before Saturday. Look at the yard, see how they're parading, see if Beaverwax flat. And look at the track conditions. If it's firm, the horses with a turn of foot can win. Yeah. If it's really, really heavy, go Beaverwax way for sure.
Okay, but it's yes, yes, yes here
on a Thursday
for us on the Thursday at an each way price there. Let's have a look now at race number 7. Another great race this is. It is the Ming Dynasty. And of course, 5 of these remaining unbeaten, Mike. And a lot of money on Thursday for Matty Rocks. Ran on really well behind Pandemic Fresh with a big gap to third. Sudabar, $3.50 there. The Grey Chestnut. And of course, the Cummings family, they love to just drop these from provincial into Saturday grade. Alligator Blood, here is an interesting horse, Mike, for David Van Dyke, down from Queensland. He's a big dog that wants to play all the time. That's what Dave Van Dyke thinks about this horse. Academy, $7.50, unbeaten 2 from 2, really promising. Quick thinker there, $10 across from New Zealand. Murray Baker and Andrew Forsman, gee, they can find a race or two, and the mud has come to play as well. Savoury there, $10. Reformist out to 19, and stablemate there of Quick Thunder is Rhaegar at 23. But Mike, Matty Rocks right on top here in the betting.
Yeah, she's a strong filly. She came back first up over 1,100 metres. It's probably just a little bit short for her. She comes to the outside with Kathy O'Hara on board. She produces a massive, massive run. But she ran into Pandemic, who's a fantastic horse. The form lines out of this race are only fair. That's the horses behind her, though. The time was good compared to sort of benchmark 80 horses on Saturday.
Yeah, and a lot of people, Mike, also looking at margins. We know Matty Rocks chase really well here, Mike, and a bit of a gap back to third. And a lot of people like to see that in the replay.
So important. Margins, decent time, good indicators for her on Saturday going to 1,400.
OK, let's have a look at the Queensland visitor. And this is off a 196-day break. I forgot this horse was in a few Golden Slipper calculations before going amiss, Mike. But look, really like the way this horse finishes off here, really breaks away, and this is a dominant win. We've got to be scared of this.
I'm a little bit excited about this horse. He's the son of All Too Hard. Looks a little bit like his dad. He's raced 3 times over 1,200 metres. He's smashed the line every single start. His margin's only made the last 100 metres here. Yep. He's never been to 1,400 metres before. He should absolutely love it, but he's never seen a wet track either, which is a big question on Saturday.
Very true. That's a really good replay to have a look at for the Queensland visitor as we get the race started now, Mike. Let's try and find the gold here in the Ming Dynasty. This looks like a cracking race to me.
Yeah, he's got a big weight, Alligator Blood, and his time was pretty good, but not amazing, so Matty Rocks just gets the gold bar for form.
OK, so it's a favourite there with the form as we start, as always, with progression. They've all got it.
They've all got progression. Maybe the Kiwi Quick Thinker will improve when he's fit to this preparation. Saturn Rain's already fit. But otherwise, a lot of others, including Alligator Blood, have big, big upside. OK, and of course, the distance here, Mike. Up to 1,400 metres, Matty Rocks. She's an athletic, Fascinate Rocks. She should love it. Alligator Blood smashes the line like we said. He should love the 14.
How about this? Matty Rocks and Alligator Blood absolutely streeting in front of their rivals here, Mike. But which one of these loves the wet?
None of them. We've got no idea. The top 3 never seen it before. Sudabar's raced on a heavy track in the trials, looked OK. Quick Thinker's won on a wet track, so he'll go OK. And Saturn Rain's an athletic type. But this is the big question in this race. Which horse will love the wet track?
OK, yep, never underestimate those Kiwis coming across on the wet tracks. Mike, what about this position in run? That's not suiting anyone here.
Not yet. We'll play it later in the day.
All right, so the questions here, Mike. Does Matty rock? She is the favourite. We got a few things there suggesting she is. Alligator Blood. I mean, this horse, Mike, I mean, these are the sort of things you've got to see. A poker player, they're going to probably get into this because that's what you're a good poker player. You've got a bit of alligator blood in you at the poker table. Let's have a look now, Mike, as we get all the key factors and the ratings here for a bet in the Ming Dynasty. And you don't see this too often with our ratings, Mike. Look at this. These two absolutely streeting away. One's 330, one's 650. Which way are you going to go?
Let's have a look. I'm just betting you at poker first. It doesn't make you a good poker player either, Sterling. We're both pretty average. Matty Rocks, Alligator Blood. We didn't talk about Sudabar before. We think the form line from his last start is a bit questionable, but he's got upside. Just back on the inside is a bit risky for him. Matty Rocks, Alligator Blood. Which way are you going to go? The odds have gone for Matty. Alligator Blood. Excited about this horse. A beautiful type, son of All Too Hard. We think he can win on Saturday at 650.
All right, Alligator Blood there at 650 as the best bet for us in the Ming Dynasty. And rounding off, Mike, I know it was hard for us to find the 5th best race of the day to have a look at, but race number 8, we've pretty much said this is the best benchmark 88 we've pretty much ever seen. So let's get stuck into it. Desert Lord, the favourite, $7 into 420 with some good money resuming. Finally putting it all together, this horse, and has trialled well. We've got Fasika there resuming, a very class classy sprinter, $4.20. Hortbury on her, $6.50 there in finishing hard. Mike's going to get back from the 14 gate here. Mr. Songman, $7. Watched All Too Royal swoop past at its latest run. Of course, Beau Ideal there at $12. And Exceed Excel, French import, having its first Australian run for Godolphin. But two really impressive sprinters here, Mike, in Desert Lord and Fasika.
Yeah, really good horses here. Let's have a look at Desert Lord. It's one of those horses that's progressing all the time because he's getting more genuine all the time. I think in the race go we had him as an L plater, two preparations ago. He missed the start and he raced keenly. He's graduated to a P plater for us because sometimes he's a bit keen. He's a bit keen this day, but he's improving all the time. This is his last start before a break. He was so dominant, and his trial, this preparation, was very good as well, Stu.
It is, and if anyone's going to do that to a horse, I think Team Hawks are just the stable that can try and get the best out of a horse like him.
Look at that, he shoots away, dominant win, could have won by further. So hard to beat on Saturday.
Mike, we look at a lot of replays on this show every week. You've gone right back here in the archives, far and wide, 2017. We're talking about Mr. Songman here. I'm pretty sure this is its first start. Hey, but you found a heavy track win here, so well done.
Oh, thanks, mate. Well, yeah, you look at this thinking that we've gone for a wet track win to show he handles it wet, but this is a wet track win to actually show he doesn't handle the wet, if that makes sense.
No, it doesn't.
He ran a slower time this day than the Class 2. He went on to win a Class 2 on firm ground by 5 lengths at his next start. He's had similar spikes in ratings off soft to good in his last preparation. So even though he won, we don't think he likes the wet.
You're saying it wanted it wet and it wasn't suited.
Even though it won.
Okay. All right, let's see if the key factors can figure it out for us here in race number 8, the great benchmark 88 to end the day. And we'll look at this form, Mike. We are on because all three favourites have a lot of it.
Look at these three horses. Fasika won a 3-year-old race with great form line. Desert Lord smashed them. Hortbury on hers flying. All Too Royal. What's wrong with him?
Absolutely nothing. Let's get this race started though, Mike, because I want a winner here in the last, and so do the punters. Who's got all the progression?
So many with upside. Fasika, a beautiful type. Have a look at her in the yard on Saturday. She's such a good type. Desert Lord, he's improving all the time. He's more genuine. Mr. Songman can improve second up, but lots can improve as well.
Okay, big yard watch there, it looks like, for this race. And of course the distance here.
Yeah, up to 1,200 metres. Mr. Songman will absolutely love it. To 14, he'll love it even more next start.
Okay, now who is the wet tracker to end the day? There's going to be a lot of punters out there looking for this.
If it's really chopped up and you're cruising out wide and surging home, Hortbury on her is the mare that you want. So taken, she's super tough as well.
Okay, so it's Hortbury on her that has levelled up here to Desert Lord and Fasika. So it is a favourites play to end the day here, Mike, but a couple of these get a better position in run.
We're finally playing position in run. Desert Lord on the inside, a horse that races keenly sometimes, probably doesn't suit him, especially with bias off rails. Same for All Too Royal. Beau Ideal very wide. The rest are okay.
Okay, so it's Fasika and Hortbury on her winning there by just a length in the last, so nothing to here as far as a special is concerned, I wouldn't have thought, Mike. Let's bring up all the ratings now and the key factors and the odds, of course, for a bet in the last race number 8 at Rosehill Gardens this weekend. And for Mike, plenty of questions for me here. We've got Mr. Songman questions here. We've got Desert Lord. You know, we've got this horse, Mike. Is it as genuine as we say? It's now improving. Fasika, this is obviously quality. And the big question for mine is, are they swooping late in the day? You said that's where they might be later on.
Yeah, the rain's still pouring outside. I think we can hear it. I was really excited about this race. We both were excited about this race. I think a lot of people are. The best benchmark 88 you probably will ever see. But when you do the analysis, you just realise it might be a race just to sit back and watch, or maybe play late when you know the bias on a Thursday night, just in case they come wide. It's Hortbury on her each way for us.
I want to be having a bet late in the day. There's the one we want to be on, swooping home for that's about 5th win in a row, I think. So Connection's really loving that horse. There's that look at 5 key races this weekend. But hang around after the break. We've got, of course, the $100 hot seat coming your way and our charity multi and all the other best bets. Welcome back to Key Factors, presented by theraceguide.com.au. We've had a look at 5 key races this weekend from Rosehill Gardens. And, Mike, it is going to be a wet and soggy Rosehill Gardens. The punters out there want some mutters, they want some winners, so let's round it off for them.
Let's have a look at these 9 races and see which horses we love in the soft to heavy conditions. Lady Demi G, she was unlucky last start, $8 she can win. The Promise, really good soft to heavy track stats and backs up after a week. Adana backing up as well. Wallace saw the wet track conditions, and we've seen the conditions as well. He'll like that. Humboldt Current at $7. Yes. Maybe not too wet for him. Woogok's an absolute mutter. Alligator Blood, we hope, is a mutter. Hortbury on her down the outside, and Black Magnum, forgive him last start. He won on a heavy first up.
Okay, yeah, definitely a few forgives in there, Mike. One of those is Adana you've got as a special there. What about the $100 hot seat here, Mike? This horse is definitely going to appear. 30 each way. You're putting 60% of the $100 hot seat on Adana.
Yeah, one of the most discussed runners in recent weeks, one of the biggest non-winners in Sydney at the moment. We like him on Saturday.
All right,
he
let's
wants
get
a
him
wet
home.
track, he gets that. He wants a strong tempo, he gets that. Waller's seen the conditions, we've seen the conditions, and we're loading up. Race 4, Humboldt Current, $7. He can win. Decrew, a decent roughie at 17. Wugok's a mutter. The odds have come in, but he can still win. And Alligator Blood, we hope he's a mutter like we said. He's a beautiful son of All Too Hard, and 650 is good enough for us.
All right, there is a look at the $100 hot seat. And of course, it's our charity multi-time here, Mike, and we're very proud to announce that by the end of spring, we will be donating to the charity of choice. And for that, to us, it's the Bondi to Berry, a ride to remember. There are around 120 riders riding from Bondi to Berry next Saturday. And of course, this is raising plenty of money, Mike, for dementia and Alzheimer's. It's absolutely a great cause.
Fantastic cause. One of our friends organised that. It's a great charity, getting bigger every year.
It absolutely is. I'll be volunteering there next weekend, so good luck to all the riders. And of course, the charity multi here, Mike, we've had a couple the last few weeks, haven't we? We had 9 legs knocked out by 1. We had 5 legs knocked out by 1. So look, we're just going to keep it nice and easy here. 3, we're going to have Adana. You have talked this horse up. I think you've even convinced me here. $1.85 for the place. We've got race 6, we've got Wugok, the absolute mutter here, $3 a place. And of course, Hortbury on her, $2.40 to be swooping home out wide late on in the day. That $10 at the $13.32 to get the charity total up.
Yeah, when the rain is coming and you're looking for bankers, 3 Waller wet trackers. You've done well there, Stu.
All right, let's hope those get home, and all the other bets this weekend. It's probably going to be a soggy track, but hopefully the conditions are okay there at Rosehill Gardens this weekend. Head to theraceguide.com.au for all your feature profiling, because this is the site you get right, Mike. All these mutters that love to skip through the wet, and we'll see you out there at the track.
See you at the track.